Downloads. Where is it? Right here. Okay. Uh, so the second project is an office building. And then what took me longer for this one was finding the right site, then like making sure it closes, but it should be okay now. So I'll just read the discussion here. So appropriate design. So for this project, you'll be designing a low-rise commercial building. This is supposed to say design brief. Um, that will provide spaces for a ground floor commercial restaurant for up to 100 guests, retail spaces, and upper floor office spaces. So the location of the site is a corner through lot at the intersection of Abad Street and Jose Maria del Mar Street in IT Park, Cebu City. The objective is to include all the required spaces while creating a landmark building that is appropriate for the site. So appropriate design can be measured, but not limited to the following factors. So physical factors. Does your building respond to the local climate? Does your building enhance the visual qualities of the site? Something like that. And then economic factors. Does your building cater to an existing target market? Are office spaces of similar size or competitive size to office spaces available in the current real estate market? And then social factors. Does your building follow standards set forth with the National Building Code, Fire Safety Code, and other local requirements, etc., etc.? So this is just an example of what problems you can identify in your site. I'm expecting all students to have their own sort of questions to ask about the site and like have a design that answers those questions. And then over here is just an example, a short like background on Philippine office building design. So if you zoom in here, these are probably the kanang more modernism or like 1970s office buildings. There were office buildings before this, but I was part of a short research project with Manila that highlighted the importance of these buildings. And they kind of sort of inspired the office buildings of today. So you have the Enzo building in Makati, DBP in Makati as well. So all of these buildings are mostly in Makati. Yeah. Goodland building, DTI building, China Bank. And so as you see, and as you remember from your history classes, modernism is very massive, lot of concrete, a bit of glass. Mostly in the Philippines, we use less glass because of our climate. So they're using the concrete to provide shading and also define the exterior of the building. So the structure is sort of like camouflage within the design of the facades. And then the glass is sort of minimalized or like minimized because of they don't want too much, what they call this, direct sunlight going into the building. Although the China Bank building is using more contemporary glass, the double layered glass or the tinted glass to sort of allow the builders to create a glass facade without making it too hot inside. But this one is still kind of, I'm not a big fan of like all glass facades for our tropical climate. Anyway, so that this has been the office building type has been around since like the 1800s. I think even before that, there's still office buildings, but not the way we imagine them. But the idea of a space where people come together to work, to do business, has been around for a long time. And then in the 1970s is what they look like. And now it's already 2022. So I want you guys to create something appropriate for today and not just sort of, what they call this, copy paste the same type of buildings. You can get inspired from foreign buildings as long as you contextualize it to your site. So here are some a more brief discussion over there. And then finally, we have the space requirements. So for commercial restaurant, this isn't the same as your like restaurant in a canteen, for example, or a restaurant in a house. Oh, that's not restaurant in a house. Restaurant in a, it's not just a normal place to serve food. This is like high quality food. And I'm sure a lot of you like high quality food. So what do you need in the restaurant part, meaning the front of the house of the restaurant? So you need a host desk, you need a bar, the dining area, good for 100 to 150 guests, 2 function rooms, because this is like connected to an office building. They need like spaces to like have a meeting and also eat, toilets, and the kitchen. So since this is a commercial restaurant, the kitchen is a lot more complicated than your normal restaurant. So within the commercial kitchen, you need to have spaces for your employees. So you need a staff locker room, the lead chef slash manager room, linen area for like what they call this, where they set out the linen for the tables, and crockery storage. That's where they put all the plates, pots and pans, everything. Um, and then crockery is more the breakables, the plates, and then cooking materials, that's the pots and pans, the big uh, caldero, whatever, all those shapes of cooking materials. And then the washing station, so they also need to wash like every what they call this, cooking pan and like plate needs to be washed. Food preparation area, so I think I should have put storage. There should be food storage here, but I forgot. So food storage, and then it goes to the food prep, and then it goes to the cooking area. And different types of cooking need different types of kind of area. So you need a steaming area, saute, grilling, and frying. So I really hope you guys will do a bit of a research. Not so difficult to find commercial kitchen requirements. You all have the Time Savers building standards and a bunch of resources online. Pizza station, just curious, like how you guys will do that, but it's pretty standard for these like high quality or like commercial kitchens, because you can order anything and anything in these kitchens and they can make it. Sorry. Salad and dessert station. So notice these are the colder like food types. I put them together so that you don't have to make like a separate area for each. Beverage station, so any kind of beverage, juices, drinks. And then finally, when everything is done, prepared onto the plate, the serving station. So they put everything together on a tray, and that's when they like cart it outside. And then your waste bin. So all the waste, the peels, the extra bits that they don't use for cooking, it should go here. And also the leftovers, like when they pick it up from the customers, it goes to the waste bin area. Okay, now, and then another sort of space that you guys are familiar with is already the retail units, your 7-Elevens, your small like what bread stores out like on the ground floor of the office building. So we would require 2 150 square meter retail spaces at the ground floor. And then office units. So think of the office units as like rooms in a kind of apartment building. So I just made it simple. You just have 2 types of office units, small 160 square meter office unit and a large 320 square meter office space. So one is 160, the other one is 160 times 2, so that's 320. And then the common spaces or public spaces, you need to have a lobby with an information desk. Yeah, I think this is pretty standard in both like hotels and office buildings, especially the bigger ones. Your parking area, you can do podium or basement level, depending on your decision making. But I think because this is 5-story, you might want to like focus on basement level. And then utility spaces, your janitor's closet, your electrical mechanical rooms, your storage space for air handling units, etc. And then your final drawing requirements will be exterior perspective, floor plans, elevations, 4 elevations, 2 sections, and then our structural, plumbing, and mechanical diagrams. So today is the introduction of the project, October 26th. So you have about, let's see, the research is November 4. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to include Sunday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 days, 1 week to do the research. And then each sort of teacher will have their own like research requirements. And then schematic design will be November 14, 1 week. Preliminary design will be November 28. That's 2 weeks. And then I think November 28 to December 9 is not 1 week. Let's see, 28. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So about 10 days. So it's a week and a half, 1.5 weeks. And then please, all submissions, all final drawings must be below 10 MB. Okay, now let's look at the site. So the site is in IT Park, next to the Asia Premier Residences. And then these are the bearings in Revit. So I really made sure that these close. I even like, what they call this, asked some fourth-year students to help me because my Revit is not what they call this, is out of date or kanang. I need to find a new version because it's not opening anymore. So let's see here. So about 1,494.07 square meters. Let's take a look at Google Maps. Let me just make sure I didn't have my solutions open here. Okay. Let me just do. Okay. IT Park. If you go to Google Maps, oops, sorry. If you go to Google Maps, there's something there, but if you go to the ground view, there's actually, it's actually an open sort of a site, or like nothing is constructed there. So where is it? Over here. I think this was used as like a kanang temporary like construction space, or like a space for the builders for this building here, the kanang, I forgot what its name, the building beside it, I forgot what its name. Anyway, this is the site here. Okay. Like that. This side. And then if we zoom out, so not much office buildings in this area. It's all concentrated within IT Park. There's some small sort of like shack residences here, like low-income residences. There's a school. There's a Honda Philippines motorcycle dealer. You have Tesla. Waterfront is also nearby. If I zoom out a bit more, really no like office building types. So they're all focused within IT Park. Okay, so let's go into the site itself. Down here. So the cool thing about a site in IT Park is that there's a lot of public infrastructure that's present and well maintained. You have bicycle lanes to the east of the site and also to the north of the site. So these are bicycle lanes I hope you will maintain and enhance in your design. You have a very nice kind of sidewalk here. And notice that the building next to it, Asia Premier, even though there's a sidewalk already here, they also included a setback on their lot. Because number one, it's required by law. And number two, it actually makes the building look better. So you have more sort of walking space in front. And then notice that there is no vehicle drop-off point because most of the people will be walking, coming to Asia Premier. And then if they do come by with a vehicle, the car park is here, and then there's also the ramps for the building itself, one going down and one going up. So this is to the basement level, this is to the podium level. So podium is just basically kind of above ground parking. And then notice that this area here, because it's a dead end, has become like a parking spot for motorcycles. Now, in your lot, you have something similar going on the east side of the site. So on the, sorry, not east, western side of the site. The western side of the site is motorcycle parking. You can maintain this, but if you want to move it within the site, I'm also fine with that. Also, I think the design teachers will also have their own sort of requirements for how you deal with the site. I'm just giving you my own opinions. This is a kind of electrical box. I think you need to maintain this. I think this is for this building here, the Park Central. Okay, the sidewalks you need to maintain as well. And then I think there's supposed to be a connection between like this sidewalk here on the left to like our building here on the right. And I think you need to like design that into your design proposal. Okay, what else? Oh yeah, this bus waiting shed or jeepney waiting shed, I would like, if possible, to maintain that or relocate it. As long as you have one, having maybe another one on the side would be fine, because there's also this one over here. Oh no, they removed it. You go here, you can see there's a waiting shed already built, but I think they took it down when they constructed this building to the next. It's no longer here. They made it like a fence. I don't know why. So that's basically the site. If there are any questions, feel free to ask. Um, when you do your building as well, since Revit is very good with making trees, please take note of the location of the trees. It's not on the site plan over here, but you can just estimate it. Let me zoom in a bit more. Okay, it's not on the site plan here, but you can just estimate where the trees are. The road right-of-ways for both Abad Street and Jose Maria del Mar is 24, about 24 meters. I just say a clean 24, so you won't have problems with the setbacks. And then, yes, these are views of the site, view from the western side, left side, right side, etc. Okay, so are there any questions or no questions so far? Or more likely, same sa anak ko, they're sleepy because of the rain. Okay, magpadayon lang ko so you can review the video later. So luckily for us, muplug ko sa Lantawan is because we reviewed or we studied the Asia, or Brother Bella and his students studied the Asia Premier residences. And then they broke down the floor plan of the Asia Premier residences, which is an apartment building, but the same design philosophies are applied. And it's also more or less kanang the same lot size as well. So let's go to the Asia Premier residences. Okay. Okay. So the building you're designing is only 5 stories, and the Asia Premier is like, let's see. I think I have the floor plans here. Okay, the Asia Premier is 16 stories. So basically 4 times, a bit more large, a bit taller. But the key thing here is that it has a multi-level parking space and also multi-level kanang uses above. And then currently you only done like maybe you did an apartment building last summer, if I remember correctly. If someone can like type in or mention how tall their apartment building was, that would be appreciated. So I can like gauge like how familiar you are with like multi-story buildings. Anyway, so the ground floor for this type of building, especially if you have like basement parking or like above podium parking, you'll have to make space for your vehicle ramps. So you won't be using 100% of your ground floor. You need to provide really ample space for your ramp so that your vehicle can go down without any kanang problems. Okay. Also on your ground floor, you need to have your lobby. And then for this site in particular in IT Park is you also need to have setbacks. And setbacks aren't really a bad thing because they can provide more walkable spaces, al fresco dining, and basically outdoor spaces and like just outside or just at the front of your building. This is a very welcoming space. It will encourage a lot of people to visit your building. So I really encourage you to maintain the setbacks. Also notice the kanang PWD ramps and like ample staircases, both from the front and the sides. And then the tricky part here will be, your vehicle parking. So for IT Park Asia Premier residences, I don't like the way they handle their parking. I don't think this is the final plan, but this is the kanang, I think near towards the end of plan, like for construction drawing. I think they edited this part where you can do, you can basically go around it. Because last time I visited, you can go inside and then go like this. it seems like they removed additional 2 or like 4 parking spaces to make the vehicle like be able to go around. But the main problem with this type of parking, where you have a dead end like this, dead end like that, it becomes very difficult to maneuver. So try to avoid dead ends. Really, doing parking like this is not advised, but some people still do it because probably the necessity for space. And also notice that where there aren't parking slots, they have like utility spaces here, here, and here. So these are, let me just go to the legend here. 14 is their cistern, their water cistern. 15 is bulk storage. 21, they have a driver's lounge. You may want to consider adding that in your like a basement area. 16, they have a laundry. Laundry, they wash their clothes for you. But they dry their clothes like in the roof deck. 17 is like storage area, probably for the laundry staff. And then 18 over here is, where's 18? Diesel tank storage. So for like their gas ranges or their stoves in the upper floors. Let's see, 19 is generator for the electricity, and 20 transformer vault also for their electricity. And then in this particular building, they have podium parking. So this is pretty interesting. And how does it work? So you have, I'll just take a snip here. So how we presented it in the drawings over here is you start on the ground floor in this ramp, and this ramp connects like this. So it goes straight from the ground floor, and then it like, you make a left turn, you make a left turn again, and then you go up like this. So in 3D, it kind of looks like, let me just do a quick. So from the ground floor, this is your ground floor, it goes like that to the second floor. And then from the second floor, it goes up like that. And then it goes up like that. Something like that. Oh, wait, let me just erase this. Here's my brush. Oh, there it is. Something like this. Sorry, I'm drawing with my mouse. And then this attaches like somewhere here. Sorry, like that. So this is all a ramp that kind of like turns and then goes out here, and then they make a U-turn again and go up like this. So this is what's going on here. And what's interesting is that the ramp itself is like these lines here. It means that the ramp itself is also kind of parking space. So let me just make a better illustration here. Or actually, yeah, let's see. So it's doing this thing, it's going up like so, and then this part here is going up like that. This one is connecting here. And then along the parking space, like the ramp, you can park cars like this. And then the vehicle can go around like that. Something like that. Okay. And then they repeat that until they reach the 4th floor, because that's how much parking requirement is for apartment buildings. And you see you have the sort of the elevator core here with a number 6 is the garbage chute, and number 7 is a electrical and mechanical room. I think you won't need a garbage chute, but you will need like a janitor's closet to store garbage from the offices, and then they just bring it down with them when they use the elevator. Also notice the fire escape is connected to the elevator. So you have a utility core usually in multi-story buildings, and then if you depending on how tall your apartment building was, you may have opted for something like this. Okay, and then on the upper floors are just the residential spaces. So for your particular building, since we're making a commercial building, your office spaces will be built around the utility core. the elevator core. And then you can arrange your office spaces any way you want, as long as um, you have a logical reason for incorporating how many small office spaces and large office spaces you're putting per floor. I'll leave that for your research. Like, how many large open spaces should your office building have, and how many small office spaces should your office building have? You can find out about that by looking at um, Googling like office spaces in IT Park. How many is in per building? You could basically, for example, this one is an office building. This Concentrix. You can Google Concentrix. Concentrix office space. And then usually they would have like they would be selling office space. Oh, they have a video actually. So something, maybe you could check that out. I'll check this one out. Second. So what is inside? Designed for the best staff in the world. So you notice that the columns are inside. They have ample natural lighting. Their artificial lighting is not on during the day. Notice the fire hydrants. I'm not sure if this is the same building, or is it like, I'm guessing it's the same building, but it's owned by different clients. So there's a lot of things you can put into your offices. And I think together with the commercial kitchen, you can design one office just so it looks more kind of realistic. I don't think this is just Concentrix itself. Maybe I'll just do Concentrix IT Park. Let's see. Images. Okay, so this is definitely a Filipino setting. Notice the ceiling. They employed some kind of a wavy pattern. So they do this to make the office like more interesting. What's not so nice about this office design is that it's all artificial lighting, and I can't see a window anywhere. It seems like they're stuck inside like a warehouse. It's not very kind of hospitable or like a good place to work if it's all artificial lighting and there are no windows. Seems like they're trapped inside. And if you look at the Concentrix building from the outside, it really looks like there's not much natural light that goes into this building. It looks very kind of closed. So I would really advise you guys to maybe kind of get inspired by this building over here. They have like a lot of windows, but this is more like residential type. Maybe you could do something like this building over here. This is a very interesting site because you have a lot of different buildings that you can be inspired from. I'm not a fan of like floor to ceiling windows. Notice they need to use a lot of kind of blinds. You see the blinds here to protect the users from like the direct sunlight. And there's a lot of improvements that can be done in the buildings in IT Park. This one is another sort of box type. I really feel like inside there's not much natural light going on. So that's currently the situation in IT Parks. Either there's not enough natural light or there's too much. So this one is also, I think this one's a good sort of compromise. It has like ribbon windows, basically long, like windows that stretch from one side of the building to the other. And this could be done, but you could like articulate the facade more so it doesn't look so flat. So there's a lot of buildings you can take inspiration from in this site. You also have this building, the Calyx building, known for its like almost kind of, I guess, Pringles-like louvers, something like that. There's another all-glass building over here. Maybe you can even do something like this. for your facade. So there's really kanang not much limitations for you in IT Park. Okay, anything else? So that's the office building. For kanang restaurant design, let's see here. Um, it's really not that difficult. I can bring up, let's see.
The same building has the ground floor. That is that donut restaurant.
Yes, the sorry, brother, what was it?
In the same building, the residences, there is the ground floor. There is the
Ah,
donut
yeah.
restaurant. You can show that also nice.
Okay, sorry, I forgot
And
about that.
let
Yes.
donut
So in
still
the ground
very
floor here,
delicious.
yes. So in purple, this is the Krispy Kreme restaurant. Uh, so they focus mainly on donuts, and they don't show where the kitchen is, but basically, the key thing to note for like commercial restaurants or any place that's selling food, you need to have a space for the kitchen. So let me see here. Let me check if it's not here. Number 5. No, it's not. Okay. So just based on me visiting the site, the kitchen would be somewhere around here, something like this. Like this would be the kitchen area. And usually for really high end or like high quality restaurants, the kitchen is about a little bit half of the floor area. So it's big. I really advise you guys to do a bit of research to make sure like what you need. I already listed it down there and how it is arranged. So this area in red is the kitchen area. You come in here and also here. And then the rest is for like sitting areas for the customers. So for the donuts, they need to have, yep. Question? Oh, wala na day. So for the donuts, they have the storage area for the donuts. I think they fry some of them, and also they have the different toppings. So they have spaces for where you need to put those toppings, store them for like cooling, and then spaces for their beverages. So I think we can look up some sample floor plans here, building types. You can just open Time Savers. You guys have access to my books, and if you don't, I can like give you a link. It's in a Google Drive. Let's see. Let's go to restaurant, educational, cultural, health, religious, government, the supermarkets, restaurants, and eating places. 755. Okay. So square feet per seat used for various types of food operations. So you can convert this to square meters. So you have an area for your guests, your sitting areas for your guests. So let's look at a kitchen layout really quickly. Let's see here. There's a bubble diagram over here. So I think we'll start out with this. So similar to your supermarket, you have a delivery yard and receiving area, although I wouldn't require like a whole parking space. Just like maybe in the parking area, wherever you're located, you reserve 1 or 2 slots for food deliveries. And then they can just use the same elevator or for the guests, or maybe you can put in, if you can really design it well, you can put in a specific elevator or staircase that connects the restaurant to your kanang basement parking or podium parking. So how is the flow like? So you have delivery for linen and paper storage, common storage area, refrigerator and frozen storage for like the meats and the fish, vegetable preparation, ventilated storage. Sometimes you might need that. And then cleaning supplies. And then usually the employee facilities are next to the linen and paper storage. So the employees need to change into their like uniforms. And then they need to time in. So you have that time recorder. The manager's office has to be located in a place where they can see all the operations, similar to your supermarket. And then from the refrigeration or the frozen storage area, you need to be close to the meat prep area. And then vegetable and other storage should be close to each other. And then you go to the cooking area. So there's a baking area, cooking unit, salad and sandwich unit, and then the washing of the pots and pans, meaning the cleaning area. And then you have what they call short orders. These are like small orders. You can arrange it like this, but this is just a sample. Fountain service, this is like for the beverages. And I think for bigger restaurants, I wouldn't require you to have an employee dining area, but that will be like near your employee sort of locker rooms. Serving area where they prepare the plates and then they bring it out to the dining rooms and the guest facilities. And then dishwashing area is a bit large because you have a lot of volume of dishes that you need to sort of wash. And I think, yeah, this is an error with my file. It kind of like disappears these few pages, but we can just do, that's why we have Google. We can look at like commercial kitchen layout. So we already have something like that. So it's really convenient this time. Google wasn't so good during my time. Let's see, this one has labels. Okay. So I think a clear distance is important. In this example, clearance is about 849, and then it goes up to like 1,100, 1.1 to 0.8. So let's look at the employee area, should be somewhere here. So you have your female locker and male locker, and then they have sort of a, what do you call this, hallway on the outer side of the restaurant. This in and out is towards, I think this is for the staff. So this is healing bridge, cold preparation, rôtisseur, and then dishwashing, pot washing, receiving area, chemical closet. Okay, so this is the entrance for goods down here, and this is the in and out for the food. And usually they have this kind of like door where it can swing both ways. So easy access going in and going out. So let's start off with the delivery. So deliveries come in here. Then you have like a lavatory, chemical closet for maybe like chemicals that clean the food. I don't know why they call it a chemical closet. Probably just cleaning materials would be okay. Fridge for the vegetables, for fruits. And this is a freezer for the meats, I think. And then dry storage over here for everything that doesn't need to be like frozen, but needs to be kept in a storage area, like maybe bread. Other thing, bread is the only one I can think of right now for dry storage. And then you have the a counter here, chef's desk. Sometimes the chef in this situation wants to be like within the kitchen and not separated. They have like a storage block here, the butchery where they can cut up the meat, area for pastry. This is washing area, I guess. You see the two lavatories. And notice that every sort of food prep area has lavatories, like washing area, spot washing. And this one here, they have two lavatories at the butchery area for the meats, just to make sure everything is clean. Pastry, you only have like an oven. The pizza preparation area, you have a pizza oven, and then some storage areas, dishwashing, pot washing, and shared, let's see, what's drying rack. So after the pots are washed, you hang them like the same way you would hang them at your home. So this is the main sort of cooking area. We have all like two ovens, and then like maybe three ovens. This one is like a major oven. And these are two stoves with like four, I forget what they're called, the four like cooking tops. And then we have a deep fry area. So that's when you like fry chicken, you douse them in like oil. So this is a deep fry area with two cooking tops. And then this sort of excess are the exhaust, that range hood above the cooking area to take in the hot air from the cooking so that the kitchen doesn't like smell bad. Okay, and then your cold prep here with two lavatories, and then you have your serving area here. So the food comes in here, this side, and then the chefs and the cooks take them out. They prepare them over here on the left side. maybe even here on the right side as well, this space over here. Let me just zoom out a bit. So it's super clear how the kitchen works. Okay, like this. So food comes in here, gets stored in here, and then the cooks and the chefs take them out. They prepare it here, here, and here. And then after it's prepared, they cook it here, and they can like move around freely. Notice that it's at least 1 meter clearance. And this is the serving area here. So the clearance is about 849, because there's not much traffic. Most of the traffic is here in the 1 meter clearance. You have a lot of people moving back and forth, and making sure the 1 meter allows for 2 people to work side by side. And then you have your pizza station. This is also a cooking area here, washing area, and then everything is served in the serving sort of a desk. And then the waiters pick it up from here and bring it out to the guests over there. And also they use this space to wash the dishes coming in from the guest area. Okay, and then I think the only peculiar example, the only thing that stands out to me here is that the locker rooms don't have direct access to the kitchen. You have to like go into the locker rooms and go around, probably because of how the whole building is laid out. But that's basically the flow of a commercial kitchen. So hopefully that's super clear now. If there are any questions, you can message me for further clarifications. Your teachers are also, yep, we have a question.
Yes, Architect Roy. So since I don't know if you said this already or not, because my internet was interrupted sometimes. I would like to ask you for permission to lower the number of parking places, because we have just only 5 floors. So that only basement parking would be enough. So that because the ground floor is for the restaurant. So I was thinking maybe 30, if we have 30 parking places, parking slots, that would be if you use the basement, it would be enough. So, but actually, so that because there is already Ayala central block in the area, plenty of places, slots. So that's why I actually also think that it would be meaningful. So that only the ground floor or the basement is for parking. So if you give us this permission, then it will be much easier for us to work.
Yeah, I am fine with like just the basement, because I have the solution ready for the teachers. I actually designed it yesterday. That's why like it took so long. Basement parking is really kind of better. So
yeah, so that's we are all witnessing now that our coordinator gave the permission to that, so that we can limit the parking slots, and because it's actually just 5 stories. So
yeah,
and then there are also other. So before I sometimes go to Cebulan Masters, and it was difficult to go there because their parking was always full. But right now I don't have any more difficulties to find parking. Even across there is a coffee shop, and across the coffee shop there were never parking slots, always occupied. But recently I can even find their parking slots because the Ayala block has big parking, so it's not anymore occupied. So thank you very much for the permission. That helps us a lot.
I did a calculation. I won't tell the students how many parking slots there should be, but it's close. It's close to 30.
That was my first out of experience, something.
Very good.
I was thinking how many could be there if we use only the basement. So still it has to be thoroughly planned. And I would like to add, if you don't mind, please students go to IT Park, and it's not, at least those who are here located in Cebu, go there. I can recommend to you the Donut restaurant across, because the donut is really very good. When we were designing the we were preparing for Lantavan this article about the Asia residences, then I even invited the students to eat donut together. Also, they made actually a beautiful video about that. We will put it on the Lantava magazine website, that video, so you can also watch that about that residences. And then if you go inside the central Cebu Landmasters headquarters, there is the left side, there is a business area, and there is a model. It will be the Cebu's best five-star hotel in Ayala. That's also a project of Central Cebu
Mm.
Landmasters. You can already see the model there, and when we were preparing the article for the residences, architect Francis was already the one from the our former teacher, who is now in charge of architectural matters in Cebu Landmasters. He even showed that. So it's worth it to go there. And if you actually, may I tell you a secret also? If you go to the Cebu Landmasters, go through the guard will check your temperature only. You go to the elevator and you tell that you want to go to the penthouse. This is the top. Nobody will block you from that. Go to the penthouse, and from the penthouse you have a beautiful view. I don't think right now is a beautiful view because it's raining, but many students actually are afraid the guard will keep me back. No, the guard will not keep you back. Just go resolute. And from there you can see even the neighboring lot from above. So when we were preparing the article for Lantawan, I think at least 15 times I had to go there because of the lighting of the buildings. It's a really interesting and nice place. So please go there. Don't shortcut that you.
Yes. So usually, if you act like you own the place, the guard will just let you in. Just pretend like you're the son of the owner or something like that, and go up to the penthouse. Okay. Sergey, do you have any comments, questions?
Yes, I would just like to add, Roy, that when they will be deciding this, maybe they should make it as part of the research as to the parking requirements,
Mm.
because the National Building Code has a dedicated requirement for parking,
Mm.
but they have to know that Cebu City has a separate ordinance regarding parking requirements. So
Mm.
maybe they should know about the parking requirements also imposed by Cebu City, since our site is located in within Cebu City. And they should know that the Cebu City parking requirement is just a little bit stringent compared to the National Building Code. Okay,
Mm.
so they have to know it, so they will be able to provide the actual number of required parking.
Mm. Sige. So, yep. Thank you for that, sir. So when research, it's online. I would show it on the screen. I'm actually looking at it now, bro. I don't want to, okay, it's your research. So just Google Cebu City Parking Ordinance and it should come up. Okay. Any other questions?
I did not hear what architect Alinio was saying because I was interrupted. So could you repeat, Jay?
Yes, I was telling them, brother, that they should make it as part of the research, the parking requirement based from the Cebu City Ordinance, because it's quite a little bit different from the National Building Code. It's a
Yeah,
little bit stringent, although
yeah,
just
yeah.
a small just a small deviation, but at least it's a little bit stringent compared to the National Building Code.
So this should be
Mm.
part of the research,
Yes.
even if we have the permission now from Architectrani to provide just
Yeah,
for the basement, we have
Mm.
to know what are the requirements.
Mm. Like for the research brother, they know how much exactly they need to put, but when they design it, they can just have one basement.
Saktora, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you for. I think that's correct because even if you are exempted from some things, you have to know what is the regular.
Yes, exactly.
That's good. Thank you so much.
Okay. Sige. I think it's already 9:29. I don't want to hold you guys any longer as the USC days. We're encouraged not to hold synchronous classes. So I think we can end the meeting here. If there are no questions, anyone? Going once, going twice. Okay, there are no questions. Manggawas ang questions, i-submit na next week. I will stop.